My story is a wee bit different from everybody else that I've heard, because in March this year, I will be 35 years sober. So I learned to speak in AA. I was absolutely terrified because I spent 20 years drunk. I had no self-worth, self-confidence or anything like that. Through the years in AA, you have to speak out to get yourself better. You know, you've got to speak out, and the fellowship is a wonderful thing. And I think that's why I like this so much, because this feels like a fellowship to me. I ended up having to speak at conferences, you know, with 2,000-3,000 alcoholics in the room and share my story, which was hard because it's not nice talking about the things that you've done in the past, but I got myself better. I started work it wasn't DWP then, it was Unemployment Benefit Service. I was 9 months sober. I became a union rep. In 98, after the Tony Blair government came in, I stopped working in a job centre and went out and started working in the community. And I was running a programme for people that had drug dependency problems, getting them back into work. And this expanded over a few years, and people that were alcohol dependent, homeless people in the criminal justice system. And then I ended up with asylum seekers, refugees, mental health. And I also set up a programme for people in street sex workers in Liverpool. I loved it. I thought they'd carry me out in a box. I never wanted to leave because I could see the difference we were making in people's lives, because we were giving them their lives back. You know, I was seeing miracles happening every day. In 2010, when the coalition came in, the first thing they did was stop the funding for my programmes. And I stuck it out until 2012. And one of my clients he was very vulnerable, and they stopped his money, and he ended up dead. And I thought, I don't want to be complicit in this anymore, and I retired. And I joined the Labour Party. My husband died very suddenly in March 2014. And I thought, what am I going to do now? And they put a letter through my door for the AGM, and I went to it. And this was in 2014. And I started getting active then. And we had our general election in 2015. And then Jeremy became leader. And he was inspirational, you know. He came to Southport and he did a rally on the beach, and regional office asked me to be the warm-up act and talk about the social inclusion issues that I dealt with, you know, the need that we had to look after people. My grandfather always told me, them that have, look after them that haven't. And that's what I've done all my life. And that was... terrified, and had it all written down, but it was so windy on the beach that I couldn't use my paper, so I just had to open my mouth and go with it, you know. And Steve Rotherham was comparing it, and he had to tell me to shut up. You know, because once you start me, I can't stop. I've always found that when you speak from the heart and you have a passion for things, that comes over. My pet hate is people that put PowerPoints up and then read them, because I'm perfectly able to read. I have sort of lines, you know, and I talk about them. I've been lucky to host Jeremy 4 times in Southport, and I've watched him speaking, and that's what he does with his little notebook. He has one word and then he talks to it, you know. And anybody that's been at a meeting with Jeremy will know how inspirational he is, because he definitely inspired me, because he talks about people. Now, you know, I don't find it difficult to speak. In fact, shutting me up's the problem.